This is Borneo, an astonishing landscape of lush rainforests and mighty rivers, which is home to some of the most biodiverse regions in the entire world. I spent just over a week here to learn what I could about the wildlife and ecology of the island, and in so doing, I came face to face with orangutans, proboscis monkeys, pygmy elephants, and so much more. So settle in and get ready to learn as we embark on our next Valkation. Our journey took place in the state of Sabah, located on the northeastern corner of the island. We arrived first in the Sandakan region, where we got our first experience with the local environment right around our hotel, which was surrounded by fruit trees. I just want to show the pillows in this hotel, but just like, they are so solid. Look at and our first little animal encounters. And right around the corner was the Kabili-Sepilok Rainforest Reserve, where we grabbed our monkey defense sticks and immersed ourselves in the beauty of the Bornean rainforest for the very first time.
We haven't found any elephants yet, but we found this elephant tree.
We came to this reserve because high above the jungle pathways, it has a massive canopy walkway to give you an unparalleled view of the surrounding environment. And we weren't the only ones using it either.
All over the place are these little birdhouse things up in the trees, way up near the canopy. And those are for the flying squirrels to live in. And that, right there, is an orangutan nest.
Rainforests are fascinating ecosystems because as massive and dense and diverse as they are, you might not expect them to be so competitive and harsh. First of all, rainforest soils are some of the worst in the world. All the available nutrients are sucked up by existing plants or diluted out by rainwater, not to mention the fact that finding your own space to grow is next to impossible. More importantly, however, only the tallest plants are going to have access to most of the sunlight, which creates selection pressure for a variety of unique survival strategies, like being able to grow in the shade, growing to be amazingly tall, or just climbing things that can. In fact, some of the vines here grow so densely, they end up strangling their host trees, leaving just an empty husk of what used to be vines.
Got these parasitic roots. And down here, that is a stingless beehive. You'll just be walking out here, and then you'll hear a crack, and then a tree around you will just shed a bunch of leaves. And you don't know what happened, but you know it was cool.
After hiking for several hours, it was starting to get dark, which meant that the flying squirrels were getting more active.
Oh, look at that!
And it was time for us to explore the rainforest at night. As soon as the sun had set, the jungle came alive in a totally new way, as all manner of nocturnal creatures emerged all around us. There were huge and beautiful spiders, dozens of scorpions, and so many frogs. Keeled pit vipers, bats, bugs, tarsiers,
Oh my fucking god, dude.
and even slow lorises.
They're so slow. They're so loris.
For those who don't know, a slow loris is what you might get if you were to cross a lemur with a sloth and a cobra. They split from other primates around 70 million years ago. They have extra vertebrae, which makes them super flexible. They're able to stay perfectly still or move slowly throughout the jungle all night without fatigue, and they're the only species of venomous primate in the entire world. But these trips aren't just about wildlife. We wanted to learn a little bit of anthropology as well. So as we stood there in the pitch black darkness, barely able to imagine what creatures were creeping around us, I asked our guide to teach us some of the lore of his cultures. What monsters did he learn about as a child? What goes bump in the night in Borneo? He told us all sorts of things, like how homes left abandoned for over 40 days would attract spirits to inhabit them, or how you could keep monsters away by breaking a stick into 7 pieces, throwing 6 of them in different directions, and then pretending to throw the 7th stick. And all the curious spirits would be so interested in looking for the 7th stick that they would just forget to haunt you. But not all of his stories were so benign. He also told us about a leprechaun-like creature that would steal money from people's houses and then transform into a pig to hide, and witches whose heads and guts would fly from their bodies to suck the blood of pregnant women. But most memorable of all were the banshees, who were created when a man would cheat on his pregnant wife, leading her to be so sad that she died in childbirth and became a vengeful spirit that hid in the bird's nest ferns we had seen all around us to hunt and kill any man who passed underneath it. We talked about this amongst the group, and we all decided that we're Team Banshee in this situation. Go Banshees! The next day, we hopped on a bus and headed over to Lubbock Bay to visit a sanctuary for proboscis monkeys, and we got there just in time for a feeding.
He's so unconcerned. That's an animal that's never paid taxes in its life.
As one of the caretakers called out towards the jungle, hordes of proboscis monkeys poured out from the trees to snack on the fruits and veggies provided by the sanctuary. Upon arrival, the monkeys quickly split into different groups, with larger dominant males keeping to their individual harems, and the rest left to pick up whatever they could find.
More monkeys. More keys.
These monkeys are endemic to Borneo, meaning that they're not found anywhere else in the world, and they're endangered, and that makes these feedings all the more controversial. You see, normally humans feeding wild animals is frowned upon, because it teaches those animals to be overly trusting and reliant on humans. It changes their diet and their behavior, and it puts them at a higher risk of poaching. But these feedings bring in tourists who provide money for the sanctuary, which only exists because the people who are clear-cutting the rainforest where these endangered monkeys live agreed to set this little spot aside just for them. So there's a choice to be made here. Preserve a small portion of the rainforest to support these monkeys in less than ethical ways, or let the area be destroyed for profit and lose the monkeys entirely. There isn't a perfect choice here, but I think it's safe to say that one is better than the other. And until conservation efforts in this area can afford to preserve the rainforest in a bigger and more meaningful way, it seems to be the best that we have. Also, upon reviewing the footage, apparently we had several in-depth conversations about how some Americans use exhaust modifications to make their cars louder, which just blew the minds of some of the travelers from more sensible parts of the world.
Sorry?
It's the opposite of the silencer.
Allowed on a car?
Yeah, so you know when you have cars going past making
People
incredibly
do
loud
that
noises?
on purpose?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Oh my god.
Dude, I swear to God, one of the Trova trips, I'm going to bring you guys to America. It's going to blow your minds.
I need it.
I don't think it's as much of a thing in the UK, but it does happen. There are people who put exhaust modifications on their car to make it as loud as possible.
That's insane. That's the exact opposite of what you want.
The whistles go woo-woo.
Yeah.
Another ethical conundrum to ponder, I guess. Before we left, a massive group of silverleaf monkeys emerged from the forest, and unlike the more cautious proboscis monkeys, they didn't seem to mind us humans behind the railings at all.
Hello. Yeah.
And And on our way out, we found that the surrounding swamp was riddled with the homes of tiny burrowing crabs.
Crab holes.
And there were plenty of mudskippers, some of my favorite fish in the whole world.
Oh, look, that one right there.
Little dude.
They're great. I love them.
These are called cannonballs. They are not edible. They are highly toxic. And they look so cool.
But we couldn't stay all day because our next stop was the Sepilok Orangutan Rehabilitation Center. The path into the rehab center is a long and winding boardwalk through the very rainforest where the orangutans live, which meant we had to carefully make our way past quite a few of them along the way. Many of the orangutans here are rescued, but many more of them are just wild ones that learned where to get a free meal. You can see the differences in their behaviors on the feeding platforms throughout the sanctuary, with the wild ones being more cautious and suspending themselves from ropes, while those that had grown up around humans sat placidly and dined as a group. Adult males live solitarily, only entering into a group of females for courtship and mating, so we were especially lucky to see a huge male having lunch by himself on the other side of the sanctuary. Those flaps on the side of his face are called flanges, and they grow bigger in relation to the male's dominant social status. But the most magnificent part of this experience was getting to watch the way the orangutans socialized, the ways in which they interacted with their peers, the ways that they played with their children, and even the ways that they entertained themselves. Seeing them this way, you start to really understand the meaning of their name, which is derived from the words orang, meaning person, and hutan, meaning forest. They are the people of the forest, not just some mindless animals, but great apes like you and me. And by the way, they're not the only primates to be named this way. The mythical hobbit creatures that are said to inhabit the jungles are called orang pendek, meaning short person, and the proboscis monkeys we saw earlier are called orang belenda, meaning Dutch person. Literally just a person from the Netherlands, which I can only assume was just to make fun of the Dutch colonizers. Before we left the Sandakan region, we had one more animal sanctuary to visit. This one was the Bornean Sun Bear Conservation Center, a place that rescues and rehabilitates the smallest species of bear in the world. Sun bears are a keystone species in their ecosystems. This means that just as a keystone plays a disproportionately important role in holding a building together, they play a disproportionately important role in holding their ecosystems together, by eating and dispersing the seeds of tons of fruits, aerating and cycling nutrients in the soil by digging up grubs, and protecting the trees by eating termites. They also bring a lot of attention to rainforest conservation efforts, which are sorely needed now more than ever, because they're adorable and everyone can recognize their distinctive yellow chest marks, each one as unique as a fingerprint. Sun bears used to cover a large portion of Southeast Asia, but their numbers are dwindling quickly. Not only are they facing severe habitat destruction like the other animals we visited, but they're also illegally kept as pets, as well as cruelly farmed and poached for their limbs and bodily fluids, which are believed to have medicinal properties. Many of the bears here are orphaned, injured, and show signs of severe physical and psychological trauma. Their stories are heartbreaking, but this center provides a safe haven for them to live out their lives in peace. And through the rehabilitation programs provided here, some of them have even been able to learn essential survival skills and be released back into the wild. Despite their vastly different inhabitants, methods, and reasons for existing, these three conservation centers play a crucial role in raising awareness about these animals, about the poaching and habitat destruction that threatens them, and how we humans can do our part to make the world a better place for everyone, not just ourselves. And as we boarded our bus for a long drive from Sepilok to Sakau, we got a first-hand look at why that message is so important. As we drove over hills and highways, through both cities and country roads, the one thing we saw everywhere we looked was palm trees. Miles and miles of straight rows of palm trees. We first noticed them outside the Proboscis monkey sanctuary, which made sense since that's why the sanctuary was there. But now we saw just how far these palm farms reached. They truly stretched as far as the eye could see. Acre after acre of what was once wild rainforest, full of incredible animals, slashed and burned to make room for countless rows of palms, all to produce these little fruits, which are squeezed for oil, which is used in beauty products, candy, pet food, laundry detergent, shampoos, and so much more. These animals aren't threatened because they're losing some evolutionary arms race. They're threatened because humans are thriving, because we aren't paying attention to where our wealth comes from, because we forget that there are not infinite resources on a finite planet. Rainforests matter to all of us. They clean the air we breathe and the water we drink. They store carbon and protect the surrounding environments from floods, droughts, and erosion. They provide food, medicine, and materials that are used by people all around the world. And they're just damn pretty to look at. No matter who you are or where you live or how much you try to disconnect yourself from nature, these jungles are a part of your world, and your world is something you should care about protecting. And as if I wasn't already enamored with this place and desperate to tell people about it, we were now on our way to a lodge on the bank of the Kinabatangan River, and while I didn't know it then, I was about to fall in love with Borneo in a totally new way. But we've still got a long drive before we get there, so for now, let's talk about Brilliant. So many people who watch my videos feel like they're just not a math or science person. They love watching science content, but actually learning science feels impossible. Learning difficult science topics without some sort of expert guidance can be incredibly frustrating, and expert guidance is not always available to people. But science education is about so much more than just boring lectures and dense textbooks. People need science lessons that they can touch and play with and get feedback on in real time, and that aren't prohibitively expensive. And that is why I love Brilliant. Brilliant is an everyday learning app that puts hands-on, interactive math, science, and programming lessons right in the palm of your hands. They have thousands of lessons in dozens of topics, and they're all designed by real experts from places like MIT, Harvard, and Stanford. Plus, Brilliant just released a completely new personal tutor that can watch you work, provide helpful diagrams and questions, and adapt to your learning habits in real time to help you learn better and faster. The best part about Brilliant is that it doesn't just hand you answers. It helps guide your thinking until you learn to solve complex problems by yourself. Because life isn't about making hard problems easy. It's about learning how to solve hard problems. That's what scientific thinking is best at. And by the way, Brilliant has a whole course on scientific thinking. So get started today by going to brilliant.org/forrestvalkai, scanning the QR code on the screen, or clicking the link down below. You get to try Brilliant's new tutor for free, and you can upgrade to Brilliant Premium to unlock all courses at any time. Plus, right now, my subscribers get 20% off an annual subscription to Brilliant Premium, so there's really nothing to lose. Thank you so much to Brilliant for sponsoring this video, and by now, our group should be arriving at the River Lodge. After a long and winding drive, we arrived at the River Lodge and got settled in.
Mother flippin' rhinoceros beetle.
This is the most comically firm bed I have ever even heard of. And just outside, we found a litter of puppies hiding beneath one of the buildings. The puppies thoroughly enjoyed the opportunity to play and to try our strange snacks. We sneaked them and their mother a ton of sausages from town, but the Pringles seemed to be the most fun once they got the hang of them.
Zip it out.
What do you think?
Got it. There you go.
Yeah.
This one will take it and walk away.
Don't just hurry. Don't use my phone.
Pringle.
Anyone happen to have bug spray?
No. No. What are you doing? Oh, goodness. Oh, goodness. Arr. Ah. You're doing so good. Yeah. You're such a good puppy. You too. Be good. Greetings. Hello. Make good choices. Do good things. Be good puppies. God damn it, that's cute.
But soon it was time to leave the puppies behind, put on some thick rubber boots, and start trudging out into the mud.
Patterning is insane. What would you even call that?
These mud hikes were some of the best parts of the trip, because unlike before, when we were on a clear and well-traveled path pretty close to town, this area was hours away from the nearest city, and we were surrounded by the untamed beauty of the jungle.
Little snails.
As we continued into the wilderness, the mud got deeper and deeper, and the plants got spikier and spikier.
Just ankle deep in mud. And just the thickest, pointiest, brambliest vines in every conceivable direction. Just mud and spikes. That's this entire walk. It's just mud and spikes. I'm not gonna not get a shot of these. Look at those things. They're wild. That's a fungus. Oh my glob.
Eventually, we came across some elephant tracks. And some elephant dung.
Really brings the animal to life, you know what I mean?
We knew we were close to those elephants, but we didn't realize just how close until a couple hours later. We ended up taking several of these hikes into the rainforest at several different locations all along the river, and naturally we got to those places by boat, and that was so much more of a magical experience than I ever would have expected. As far as that indescribable feeling of just being consumed by the jungle goes, the mud hikes were unbeatable, but nothing captured the breathtaking majesty of Borneo, quite like our time on that river. The Kinabatangan River is one of the most biodiverse areas in all of Southeast Asia. Spanning 350 miles from inner Borneo to the Sulu Sea, it's home to over 1,000 species of plants, over 100 species of mammals, over 300 species of birds, and well over 100 species of reptiles and amphibians, dozens of which are threatened or endangered. Many of the small estuaries along the river are lined with invasive water hyacinths. Fortunately, some of the local fauna have taken a liking to their roots and are doing their part to keep them in check.
I can do a whole section on invasive plants and end it with that little guy and give the audience some hope, you know?
We cruised up and down the river several times over the next few days, making sure to leave at different times and explore different regions to see as much as we could. Along the way, we encountered wild orangutans, hornbills, crocodiles, macaques, proboscis monkeys, water monkeys, and even those elephants we had been tracking earlier. They stopped for a while to play by the edge of the river. Before finally climbing up onto the bank, which proved to be more difficult for some than for others. But with patience and persistence, they both eventually made it back into the jungle.
Yeah, everyone saw, bud. Everyone saw.
Nobody saw.
They're gonna cheer for you.
This river is the lifeblood of this island, and perhaps more than anything else here, it's something that I will never forget. In many of the small villages along the river, we saw these strange white huts with a large slit on the side. These are nesting boxes for the swiftlet birds that live in the area. These birds build their nests out of saliva, which is a delicacy in this part of the world. People pay top dollar for these nests to be dissolved into bird nest soup. But we weren't going to learn too much about these birds by looking at human-made nesting boxes. So we took a long hike to Gomantong Cave, which is home to millions of these birds and millions more bats.
Yeah! Keep on cruising, little buddy. Yeah. You're real fuzz. Yeah! The termites took over this bench.
Inside the cave, we found an extraordinary ecosystem. The bat and bird droppings made up the cave floor, so we were limited to slimy wooden walkways covered in cockroaches which fed upon the dead animals that fell to the putrid ground.
Let me just show you the state of the handrails. They're just covered in poop and cockroaches. And you just don't want to put your hand on these, you know what I mean? You don't want to touch anything in here. Ooh.
There were also massive, long-legged centipedes as large as my hand, which crept along the walls to eat baby birds.
Oh, they're awesome. I forgot what those are called. I want to hold one.
And even more amazing were the huts inside of the cave, where the workers would stay during harvest season to guard the cave from poachers. We knew the day was wearing thin and the bats would be emerging soon, but we wanted to explore one more part of the cave, the upper outlet. From that unique vantage point, we knew we'd get a once-in-a-lifetime view of the exodus of the bats. The only thing standing between us and the summit were the stairs. And 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 the stairs. Unfortunately, the bats simply weren't interested in this exit, and I already knew how I would have to script this video.
Like, we made it all the way up, and then the hour came, and there was no goddamn bats. So we went back down the stairs.
So we went back down the stairs and arrived back at the mouth of the cave just in time to catch the bulk of the bats emerging. But the bats weren't alone, as massive hornbills perched along the vines just outside the cave's entrance to snatch bats and birds out of the sky for a protein-rich meal.
What the fuck? Oh. Wallace's hawk eagle, I think he said. Named after Alfred Russel Wallace. Alfred Russel Wallace. Alfred Russel Wallace. Those are the words. It's a fucking eagle, dude. The bats are gonna get cancer.
Back at the lodge, we had time for one more boat trip to see what animals we could see along the river at night.
Hey, spiders. Look at that. Yeah.
Before we got up early to drive into the city and end our adventure in Borneo. I've always been passionate about environmental protection, but these trips radicalize me in a totally new way. In the last 50 years, over half of the jungles in Borneo have been destroyed. This tiny island, so full of so many species that are found nowhere else in the world, is under attack by us. We act as if we inherited this world, as if we own it. But the reality is that we are merely borrowing this planet from future generations and sharing it with millions of other species who have just as much of a right to be here as we do. It's expected and reasonable to want to prioritize the advancement of humankind. I too think that we humans have so much more to learn and so much farther to go. But we can't reach for the stars if we destroy the planet that we're standing on first. These jungles do so much more than just amaze me. They humble me. They remind me that I am just another animal living on this tiny speck. And they inspire me to do more to protect this planet and everyone on it. If you like this video and you want to help me make the next one, be sure to sign up for my next Valkation using the link down below. We just got back from Zimbabwe, so get ready for that video sometime soon, and we've got Costa Rica and Peru coming up next. But there's no way we're stopping there. So make sure to fill out the survey to tell me where you want us to go next, get your name on the mailing list so you're notified whenever we go on the next Valkation, and sign up to go on educational adventures with me to the most wild parts of this planet. And with that, I'm Forrest Valkai. Thank you so much for watching, liking, commenting, subscribing, and all the other stuff we do here on YouTube. Please exit to the gift shop, pick up one of my sweet t-shirts. Have an awesome rest of your day, and never stop learning. Bye-bye.
All over the place are these little birdhouse looking things, which are just for the the flying squirrels. I don't know, maybe I should leave that in.
He's such a good guy.
Oh, I forgot to fucking turn it sideways. God damn it, it's going in the video. Oh, I shit on my hand again. Look at that.
I'm recording this just for us. This is not going in the video, but this is the van that we are going to the airport in. That map, that orangutan poster, this crocodile poster, I swear to fucking God, this is the van that brought us here. This is the van that we got in to come to the first hotel. This is the first van of the trip, and this is the last van of the trip. Amber puked right there. We were sitting right here, and Sonia was sitting right here, and that's where Amber puked on the first day, and this is the van of the last day. And how fucking awesome is that?